We all know that corporate is really a game of politics and soft skills. And the reality is that the people who are better at communicating disagreement, their work, their value, often get a lot more attention, accolade, and end up progressing their career faster. So today we are reviewing 10 phrases to avoid in the workplace from the Hospitality Excellence list. So I'm going to read through each one, things not to say, what they recommend saying instead, and also some of my own takes on ways you can improve your communication when you're in the corporate setting. So number one is, I don't know. Now, I'm actually not against saying I don't know in the workplace, but I do feel there are much better ways to say I don't know than just saying I don't know and then staring deadpan at your boss like you have no idea what you're doing in your job. So one of the recommendations that they make in this list is let me find that out for you instead of I don't know, which I do think is a good option. Another one that I use a lot in the workplace is I'm fairly confident the answer is X, but let me double check after the meeting and I'll send a note. Especially if you have some idea directionally of what the answer might be, that shows a lot more context, strategic thinking, problem solving real time, but still gives you the opportunity to roll that back if you realize maybe that wasn't actually the right answer. Number two is I'm not sure. So similar to I don't know, this one shows uncertainty, we're not clear. Their response is let me double check and get back to you right away. Just similar to the last one in the example that I gave. I think another one here could be you could tee up your team if they're present on the call. Hey, that's something that so-and-so on my team runs. Hey, do you have any details on this you want to contribute, right? You can also hand it off a little bit. I also think that I'm not sure can also be traded off with I think the answer is probably this, but let me check back with the team, similar to I don't know as well. But we want to make sure that whether we don't know or we're not 100% certain, that we are showing our leadership our willingness to solve that problem for them. We don't want to just say, hey, I don't know, or I'm not sure about that. We want to be clear what we're going to do to solve that problem moving forward and show that lean in and that forward thinking. Number three on the list is no problem. Might imply that it was a problem, might imply that you are willing to take all of the work on. I actually don't really have such a big problem with this one. Ironically, it's no problem for me. Okay, that's a bad joke. I don't think it's a problem to say no problem. I use that a lot, mostly in like Teams and Slack. I'll say no problem a lot. This list recommends using something like, oh, it's my pleasure, or certainly, or I'd be happy to pick that up. Maybe those sound marginally better. This one to me is not going to make or break the success of your career, your communication skills, if you're saying things like no problem. Where I do think it's a problem to say something like no problem is when you actually do not have bandwidth to take something on and you choose to take it on anyways because you don't want to say no or establish and maintain boundaries. So I do think this phrase can be an issue if you're not maintaining boundaries, but the wording itself, no problem. For me, this isn't necessarily a big one. Number four is it's not my job. Yes. Okay. Gen Z, I'm looking at you right now. Eye contact. Okay. You will be asked over the course of your career to do things that are not your job. You do not have to say yes to doing those things. I agree. But please, for the love of all that is holy, do not say that is not my job. Don't say it. It breaks team spirit, which is what's in the list. It also just is really negative. It doesn't show you as a team player. It doesn't show lean in. Instead, what this list recommends is say, hey, I'll make sure that the right person helps you. That can work in some situations like, hey, this is very clearly Susie's job. Instead of me saying, hey, that's not my job, ask Susie, I say, hey, I'll make sure that Susie gets back to you. Let me send an email. That's more constructive. It's more collaborative. It's more helpful. I do agree. But I also think there's a trade-off here of rather than saying, hey, that's not my job, that's not my scope. If it is clearly somebody else's, yes, feel free to hand it to them. But if it's not clear who owns that thing, it's better to understand the prioritization of that task, whether or not it's important to the organization, how you can help facilitate. That's a big one that I use is, hey, I'd be happy to help facilitate. Can you help me understand exactly why this is needed and who's asking for it? Then I can figure out if I need to delegate it, if I need to hand it off to Susie, if I need to actually deprioritize something else I'm working on because the request came from the CEO. What I see a lot in the workplace right now is a lot of Gen Z saying like, that's not my job. I'm not going to do it unless you pay me extra. It's so cute. You adorable little sweet summer child. But we're going to do things all the time that are not our job, just being honest, if you want to be successful in your career. Now, we don't want to do them forever. We don't want to do them at the expense of our free time or our mental sanity. But you're probably going to take on some work that falls outside of your scope. So just be prepared for that. Number 5 is I can't do that. This does come off as unwilling, which is what it says in the list, but also it shows a lack of capability. I tell my boss all the time, I can do anything with enough resources, money, time, people. I can do whatever you want. Question is this the right thing to be doing? And I think that pushback is actually much more constructive of, hey, I'd be happy to do that for you, but the cost of doing that is I can't do this other thing. Or I'd be happy to do that for you, but I'm going to need more people. Or I'm going to need to delay the delivery on this. Or I'm not going to be able to deliver this, right? It's a lot more about trade-offs and optionality. I'll do a whole separate video on optionality because it's a big topic of mine that I really love. But if you're not giving your boss options, you're not empowering them to help you. So, hey, here's what I can do for you. Here's what that costs you in people, time, resources, priority. That's super constructive. Hey, I can't do that. Not true. Now, the one niche of this is like, hey, systemically, I can't do this. Like the system doesn't work this way. The process doesn't work this way. That's a little bit different. But even so, I wouldn't use the words I can't do that. I would say something like, hey, the system has some limitations where I'm unable to get to that data. Here's how we could fix it, but it requires investment, enhancements, whatever, right? Number 6 is I'm busy right now. Excuse me?
What?
No. Don't say I'm busy right now. You might be busy right now. Okay. It's one thing if your boss sends you opinions like, hey, can you chat? And you say, hey, I'm on a call. Let's talk after. Give a little more context of like, hey, this is what I'm doing and why I can't talk right now. Otherwise, we say like, hey, I can be with you at this time, or hey, should I grab some time on the calendar? Don't ever say I'm busy right now. Oh my gosh. This list is specifically for hospitality, so I can see saying this to a guest and being like, ugh. But also like with your boss, I'm busy right now. Ew. No, there's so many better ways to phrase that. Number 7, you have to. Ooh. So I just recorded a podcast episode that's going to be coming out in a few weeks about handling conflict and navigating difficult conversations in the workplace. And we talk a lot about this one, but you should not ever tell somebody else what to do pretty much, right? Unless they directly report to you and you're assigning work. A little bit of nuance there, but like, hey, I could really appreciate your help with this. Would you be able to do X, Y, Z, right? Hey, this is what I would recommend. Is that something that you feel comfortable with, right? Getting buy-in, making it collaborative, constructive. Don't just like, you have to go do this. Ew. Imagine if somebody came to you and was like, excuse me, you have to run this report and get it to me in the next 10 minutes. The drama. Okay. 8. So this is true in every area of your life. Please don't use the phrase calm down. Don't use it with your spouse. Don't use it with your mama. Don't use it with your bestie. Don't use it with your friend. Don't use it with your boss. Don't tell people to calm down. Does that make you calmer? It does not make me calmer. No, it kind of makes me want to light stuff on fire. Don't tell people to calm down. Okay. Instead, the example in the list is, I understand your concern. Let's see how we can fix this. Yes, that's a good one. I would also say if you're in a meeting where tensions are really building, like people are getting really frustrated and really argumentative, I do think it's okay to say, hey guys, I feel like tensions are climbing a little bit higher. Should we take a break and maybe we can circle back on this in a couple of hours? I think that is okay, right? Or, hey, I'm sensing some tension here. I'd love to understand from your perspective, what is it that you need me to do? Take a little self-ownership. Those are good. Telling somebody to calm down. Excuse me, no. No, thank you. All right. Number 9 is that's not possible. There are some things at work that are not possible. Okay. If my boss came to me and wanted me to steal the moon, Gru style, no, that is not possible. But still, I'm going to say, hey, I'd be happy to do that for you. How high a priority is getting the moon? Because the cost, investment, time to do that, I can deliver X, Y, Z instead. Is that the best use of our time? Right? Or alternatively, hey, we have some limitations that keep us from doing it exactly the way you're outlining. Let me share those with you. We can problem solve how to fix it. Be proactive, right? In the list, it says, let's see what we can do to work this out. Problem solving, right? Don't tell somebody no. That's not possible. And no to me are like the same thing. No, I will not run your report. Ooh. Not going to hit well. And number 10 is it's against policy. I also hear like this isn't how the process works. This goes against our process. This isn't what's in the documentation. That's my personal favorite, especially when you're dealing with teams that are very document heavy. They're like, well, this isn't what it says in the documentation. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Okay, can we figure it out? Right? So I do think the response that they put here was like, hey, let's see what we can figure out within our guidelines. Yes, constructive, problem solving, right? Alternatively, saying something like, hey, I'd love to work with you on this. There are some limitations for what I can do, but I can do this for you instead. Very positive language, right? So when it comes to things you can't say at work, it's not necessarily that you couldn't ever say any of these, especially number 3 for me. It's not a big trigger, doesn't bother me. But there are always better ways to deliver this. And some of the feedback I get a lot when I work with clients is, well, my boss wants me to work on my communication. They don't like the way I talk, that they don't want my opinion. They say I'm too assertive. Odds are, if you're getting that type of feedback, it is not because what you're saying is the wrong stuff. It's because the way you're saying it is not the right way to say it and deliver it. So use some of these more creative sayings in order to help you really navigate that workplace to elevate your communication, and put any other don't say phrases that you guys have in the comments below.